Hi, it's Miss Duffy. This video will show you how to find the GCF, the greatest common factor. All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to find the GCF. That is the greatest common factor. So we want to find the number that is the biggest that both numbers that we're looking for, or sometimes three numbers, have in common. So of course I'm going to pull out my multiplication chart. This one's pre-made. You have pre-made ones, but you also have ones that you know how to fill in yourself, which is what you'd have to use for a test. So since we're doing greatest common factor, we're going to make our big F. And we're going to list and our factors for 3 and 6. So we're going to look at our chart and find all the ways that we can make 3 and 6. Now, you know I always start with 1 times the number. So we know 1 times 3 is 3. Are there any other ways to make 3? Any other numbers we can multiply together to make 3? As I look here for answers, here's a 3, but it's 3 times 1. We have that. So no, there are no other ways to make 3. Now let's try 6. Let's start with our 1 times 6, and we'll look through the chart of other ways to make 6. Here's a 6. How do we make it? 1 times 6. So that's not, we don't need that again. If I scroll through, here's another 6. Well, how did we create that? What factors did we use? 2 times 3. Okay, 2 times 3 equals 6. So those, if we look through, here's another 6, but again, that's 3 times 2, or 2 times 3, it's the same. So as we're finished with this, now we can look and find out what numbers do they have in common. These are the factors. What numbers do they have in common? So there's a 1 here for both, and we have a 3 for both. They don't both have a 2. There's not a 2 up here. There's not a 6 up here anywhere. So our common factors are 1 and 3. But which one is the greatest? Which one is our GCF between 1 and 3? 3. You got it. So our greatest common factor is 3. All right? So let's try another one. Let's try 18 and 24. Let's find the greatest common factors of 18 and 24. I'm going to go ahead and make my F. I'll list my 18 factors of 18 here, my factors of 24 here. Again, I'm going to pull out my chart. You know how to make it. Let's use it. So I'm going to start like I always do with 1 times 18. And let's look for other ways of making 18. As I scroll through here, here's 1, 2 times 9. So let's put 2 times 9. All right, let's look for other ways to make 18. Here's 1, 3 times 6. Let's write that down, 3 times 6. Now, as we scroll, are there any other ways to make 18? Oh, you might say, here's an 18, but that's 6 times 3. Don't we already have that here? 3 times 6 is the same as 6 times 3. So let's go now to our 24. Ways to make 24. We always start with 1 times itself, 1 times 24. And let's scroll and look for other ways to make 24. Here's 1. See if you can see that. Here's 1. 2 times 12. So let's write that down. 2 times 12. Let's scroll for another way. Oh, here's a 24. How did we get that? 3 times 8. Let's write that down. 3 times 8. And are there any other ways to make 24? Oh, here's one. 4 times 6. So 4 times 6. We don't have that yet. Are there any other ways to make 24? I see this one, but it's 6 times 4, and we can check we already have that. 4 times 6 is the same. So let's go through, now that we're finished with our chart, and let's see what all do they have in common. What are their common factors? Well, I see a 1 here and I see a 1 here. That's a common factor. They have that together. They share that. Do I see a 2? Yeah, there's a 2 here and a 2 here. They share that. Is there a 3 in both? Yeah, there's a 3 in both. All right, is there an 18 in both? No. Is there a 9 in both? No. Is there a 6 in both? Yes. So our common factors are 1, 2, 3, and 6. But which one is the greatest? Which one is our GCF, that greatest common factor? You're right, it's 6. This, out of all the numbers they have in common, 6 is the greatest one. Make sure to watch this again if you need to for extra practice. You can also go to Study Island and practice finding the GCF under that quiz.